Hi everyone! As you know, we are going to Disney World in December, so we have been busy planning our itinerary and booking our FastPasses and diner reservations, etc. One of the things we get asked quite a lot, especially from people who are planning their first Disney World holiday, is how do we go about planning our days? How do we know what's going on when, that sort of thing. So we thought we'd do a little video just to tell you how we go about planning our holiday, so it might give you some ideas and you might find it useful for when you're planning yours. We do usually make a spreadsheet, but if spreadsheets aren't your thing, as I know they're not for a lot of people, A4 piece of paper will work, just something where you can make a note of all the things that you've got going on, just to help you with your planning and getting your itinerary together. The first thing that you're probably going to need to do is to register for My Disney Experience. That means that you can manage all of your different FastPasses, dining reservations, things like that, all together in one place. So you might want to get all of your party to register, and then you can kind of put all your party together in one place and manage it from just one account. Which is really, really handy, not only when you're here booking, but also when you're in the parks as well. So if you go online to My Disney Experience, or you can download the app, which I would recommend downloading the app anyway, just to make sure that you've got it and it's a little bit easier if it is working well when you're in the parks. So if you just make sure you register, and if you link all of your hotel reservation, your ticket reservations and everything, then you're good to go. Yeah, so the first thing that we do once we've downloaded the My Disney Experience app and we've got ourselves registered on My Disney Experience, we actually go online or on the app, and that will give you the opening hours for each of the parks. What I tend to do is do this on the desktop, just because you can see it a little bit clearer. There should be like a little calendar symbol, and if you click on that you should be able to bring up the calendar for when you're going, and then it'll come up with the opening hours for each of the parks, including the extra magic hours as well. So the first thing we do is choose which park to go to on what day based on the opening hours. A lot of people, if they're staying on site and they want to make use of the extra magic hours, they will go to the park whichever's got those on that day, and that's what we tend to do. If there's extra magic hours in the morning at a park, or if there's evening extra magic hours, we do try and go and use them, just so that we're making the most of our time, really. If you're not going to be using the extra magic hours, so say you want to lie in and you know Epcot's had extra magic hours that morning, it might not be the best plan to go to Epcot that day, just because obviously it does attract a few more people with it being extra magic hours, people like us trying to maximise our time. So you might want to avoid it. Obviously, if you're not staying on site and you don't have access to those extra magic hours, again, it might be just better to choose a different park that day. But yeah, we try and use the extra magic hours when we can, just to make sure we're making the most out of our time. Yeah, it's worth noting as well that because we stay on site and it's so handy to go back to our resort hotel, we tend not just to do one park for one day. We like to perhaps go to a park in the morning and, like Katie said, make the most of those extra magic hours in the morning if a park's got them on. We'll come back to the hotel, chill out for a little while, we might go to the pool and get ourselves all ready, and then go somewhere else for the evening. And it just feels a bit different, and I think it avoids that tiredness of trying to stay at a park all day. Obviously, if you're not staying at a Disney World Resort hotel, you might be tied to your transport, your shuttles and things, which makes it a bit harder to do that. But I would definitely advise that if you are staying at a Disney Resort hotel, that it's so easy just to go back, have a little chill, get changed and kind of freshen up, and so that you're ready to go somewhere else for the evening. So that's how we really maximise our time and make sure that we don't get too tired. One thing that we usually do as well is we try and avoid certain parks on a weekend. If there are festivals going on at Epcot, you do get a lot of locals wanting to go to those festivals, and your pass holders, and usually they can get really busy on a Saturday. So we tend not to go to Epcot on a Saturday, especially particularly during those holidays, Flower and Garden Festival or something like that, it might not be the best place for a Saturday. You might want to go a different day. And we've also found that for Magic Kingdom as well. It tends to be Saturday is quite a busy day, and also Monday, strangely, is a bit of a busy day as well. So if you are trying to hit those parks when it's a little bit quieter, you might want to try and work out when the best time is to go to different parks. I know there are crowd calendars online if you want to search for them. There's a few different sites that'll have the crowd calendars. We haven't really used them just because we're not sure how reliable they are. No one's got no one can tell the future or anything like that. So yeah, we just roll with it, but we try and avoid Epcot and Magic Kingdom on a Saturday.
Now, from 180 days out, you can start booking your dining. So if you want to do meals where it's sit-down table service dining, or if you've got that Disney dining plan that includes table service dining, then you need to make a mark in your diary for 180 days before you travel, because then you can start booking. It's when the booking window opens. Whether you're staying on site or off, whether you've even booked your park tickets yet, you can still make dining reservations. All you need to secure that booking is to have a credit card, and you can actually cancel or amend that booking, you know, kind of really close up to it. So if you really feel that you definitely want to go and eat somewhere, especially I would recommend if you want to eat at one of those really popular restaurants such as Be Our Guest. Really handy if you can get booked on that 180 days beforehand. Maybe make a few reservations just to make sure that you definitely get there. But if you've already planned your itinerary and you know which parks you're going to aim for each day, which we will have already have done that, then you're kind of going to know where you're going to want to eat anyway. But yeah, so all you need is a credit card and your My Disney experience, and then you can make that reservation. So note to your diary, 180 days before you travel.
And if you happen to miss your 180-day mark, or you change your mind about something in your itinerary a little bit closer to your check-in day, and you go on and they are completely full on the time you want to go, then you can always try and hold out for a last-minute cancellation. For those really popular restaurants like Be Our Guest is really difficult. Obviously, you know, we booked our trip very last minute for December, so we missed our 180-day window, and obviously when we went on to book Be Our Guest for our birthday meal, it was completely full. But what we did was we registered for mouse dining to alert us if anyone cancelled on that day, and we just generally checked every day just in case there'd been a cancellation. So if you do miss that mark and it is full when you go on to book, then don't worry straight away. You might have a few more chances to get that reservation.
The next thing we need to tell you about is FastPasses. Now, because we're staying at a Disney Resort hotel, we can book our FastPasses 60 days before we travel, and we can actually book for the whole of our trip. So that 60-day mark, I think it was around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you can go on to the My Disney Experience app and start booking FastPasses. If you're not staying on site, it is 30 days before, but then you will have to go on every day, because every day that you want to book FastPasses for, it needs to be 30 days prior to that particular day. So even halfway through your holiday, you're kind of going to need to be a week closer to your trip, if you like, to book those FastPasses. It's just one of the many perks of staying at a Disney Resort, to have that 60-day window and to be able to go on there and book all your FastPasses in one go. Now, it's still quite difficult to get the FastPasses that you want for those popular rides, even at 60 days out. I actually had My Disney Experience open on the app on my phone. I also had the online version on my laptop as well. And I was kind of working them both at one go because I really wanted to get us those popular ride FastPasses. So it might be something that you feel that you want to do, because yeah, it's a stressful little while you're booking them, but once it's done and you've managed to get at least one FastPass for all those attractions that you really wanted, then it's definitely worth it. So we'll let you know for each park which attractions that we feel you do need a fast pass for. But if you go onto My Disney Experience, you can actually have a look at the ride times, what's going on right now. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure if I'll need a fast pass for that particular attraction, then have a little look, maybe go on now and see what the wait time is now, and just see, actually, is that a long wait? Obviously they can vary, but we'll give you an idea of the fast passes that we book, just to make sure that we're not queuing for too long.
Yes, so starting with Magic Kingdom, there's no tier system at Magic Kingdom, which means that every ride or attraction that's got a fast pass, you can pretty much choose 3 for that day of your choice. So what we usually do is we usually aim for the mountains first. So you are looking at Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, Space Mountain. They are going to be 3 of the most popular rides, so the longest queues basically. Adding to that is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which arguably will be the longest rides that you will face in for the whole day. So that pretty much is the go-to fast pass for anybody who's going to Magic Kingdom. That is the one you want to try and get first, because you don't want to be stuck in like a 2-hour long line.
No.
So we managed to get fast passes for all of those, the mountains and for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as well. And we also like to get a meet and greet with Mickey fast pass. Now this can vary really. If you go in sort of straight away to see Mickey, he might not have a long line. If you go at busy times elsewhere, such as when the parade is on or something like that, his line might be a little bit shorter. And obviously we haven't been since it's been Talking Mickey. Obviously Talking Mickey was super popular, and we always made sure we got a fast pass. So now, you know, whether or not the lines will be as long, I'm not sure, but it's definitely something that we still want to go and do, and we don't want to be in line for a really long time. So we managed to get a meet and greet with Mickey fast pass. Again, it's up to you whether you want to use one of your fast passes, but for us, that's all we want to do. So anything else that we think needs a fast pass for Magic Kingdom? Maybe something like Peter Pan's Flight. It is a really popular ride. It's one that we've been on. It's not one that we go on every trip, just because we enjoyed it the first time, but we don't want to keep going on it and sort of like the novelty to wear off really. So we tend not to go on Peter Pan's Flight now, but it is one of the rides that the hardcore Disney fans will go on every single trip. And if you have got younger children, it's a really, really nice ride for them as well, but it has super long lines. So if you are going to go on Peter Pan's Flight, if you are taking your children, you definitely want to get a fast pass for Peter Pan's Flight. Next up is Hollywood Studios. Now it's going to be our first trip since Toy Story Land opened. So it may affect a little bit the fast passes that we got from last time. But in tier 1 is all of those Toy Story Land rides. So we've got Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Mania, and the Alien Swirling Saucer. So they're all in tier 1. So you only get to choose one of those. Now Toy Story Mania has always been one of our favourite rides, and we absolutely love it. And it is really, really popular, so we do try and get a fast pass for that. And of course Slinky Dog Dash, we're really excited about Slinky Dog Dash. Unfortunately we didn't manage to get fast passes, even with booking 60 days in advance. Even for our whole trip for December, we haven't managed to get a fast pass. But we are lucky that we are doing the early morning magic in Toy Story Land. So hopefully we'll get to ride it quite a bit in there. And our other plan is to go straight there at Rope Drop one of the mornings as well, just to make sure that we get to ride it again. But it's so popular. Yeah, I couldn't even get one. So we have used our tier 1 for Toy Story Mania because we love it so much. We haven't fast passed Alien Swirling Saucers, but like I said, we will get to ride it during our early morning magic tickets. So yeah, and I'm not a massive fan of spinny rides either, so it's probably going to be a ride that I only do the once. So hopefully that'll work out okay. Other rides there in the kind of tier 2. We aren't a massive fan of the Hollywood Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster. We are a bit wimps when it comes to those rides, but I'm sure they are really popular, and I'm sure that lots of you will absolutely love them. So if you do want to ride those rides, it is probably worth getting a fast pass for those, but worth bearing in mind as well that Rock and Roller Coaster has a single rider.
line, so it might be, you know, if you don't mind not sitting with your party, then perhaps it might be just really quicker to kind of get on there by yourself and do single rider. It's an option if you don't want to use that extra fast pass. Other fast passes that we have got for Hollywood Studios is the Frozen sing-along, because we absolutely love the show and we like getting a really good seat.
Yeah.
But it's huge in there and there are lots of seats, so if you don't want to use one of your fast passes for it, I'm sure you'll have an amazing time in there and you'll be able to see everything. But we like to use one of them just because, you know, we don't do those other two rides, and so it's definitely worth a fast pass for us. If you're not using a fast pass, it might just be worth kind of lining up a little bit earlier, which I would say for most of the shows. If you're not going to fast pass, perhaps just spend a little bit longer just kind of lining up for it, because you're kind of going to know around about the time it starts, because it'll be in your show guide anyway. So yeah, that's kind of, we like to spend a fast pass on that one. Another fast pass that we get, that it's kind of controversial, this one, because we get asked quite a lot of this one, is do we need a fast pass for Fantasmic? Now, Fantasmic is one of the best shows in the whole of Disney World. We absolutely love it, and we like to get a central seat. The amphitheatre there is huge.
It's massive.
You are going to be able to see. You are going to be able to get a spot. You're going to be able to get in there, no problem without a fast pass. But we tend to, you know, again, it's just personal preference of, we kind of want to be sitting a little bit more central. So, and not queuing up for quite as long. So we do use a fast pass for Fantasmic, but you know, it's one of those things, other people will tell you, no, you don't need one, it's fine. The place is huge, so you'll be able to see, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it wherever you sit. But it's just us being a little bit picky, and obviously we don't need to use them on those other two big rides either. So
I think the reason why people are a little bit reluctant to use their fast pass for Fantasmic is just because that it's the last thing that you're going to do in the day at Hollywood Studios. And as you know, or may not know, you get your 3 fast passes for that park for that day. But once you have used all 3 fast passes, you are entitled to get more one at a time once you've used them. And I think the reason, so if you use it for Fantasmic, you're not going to be using your 3rd fast pass, which means you won't be able to get any more, basically. The chances of getting something that you need a fast pass for after you've used those 3, I would say it was quite slim, but you never know what might come up on the day. But we definitely don't rely on those extra fast passes. So we tend to just go with our 3 and then, you know, see what happens after that. But yeah, if we don't get through all 3 fast passes until the park's closing anyway, we're not doing that. Yeah. For Animal Kingdom, they have got the tier system. They have got changed it a little bit just because of the Avatar Land Pandora opening. And so now tier 1 is going to be those 2 Pandora rides. So it's going to be Flights of Passage and the Navi River Journey. And then all the other rides and attractions that with a fast pass are going to be tier 2. So you're going to be able to choose one of the Avatar rides for that day, and then you can choose 2 from the other selection, and then hopefully keep going if you've used them all up. We have been on both of the tier 1 rides in Animal Kingdom, and we absolutely love both of them. Flight of Passage is our favourite ride. I think most people would agree it's absolutely amazing. It's hard to get a fast pass for it, so if you can get it, you know, definitely try and get one, because it is going to be a fairly long line if you're going to do standby for it. Again, it's one of those fast passes that you might not get even at your 60-day window, especially if you're staying off-site and it's a 30-day window, your chances are quite limited. Again, the same with the dining reservations. If you haven't managed to get in, you know, get your fast passes that you wanted for the days that you wanted straight away, keep your eye out on your My Disney Experience, because sometimes people change or cancel their fast passes just like they do their dining reservations. So you never know, closer to the time, those fast passes might come up and you can just be super lucky and grab one. So we have booked our fast passes for the Flight of Passage every time we go to Animal Kingdom. So every time we go, we try and get that fast pass because we know we're going to want to go on it as many times as we can, and we really don't want to be stuck in a 2-hour-long queue for it. So we have got a couple of fast passes for our next trip for Flight of Passage. We haven't actually used fast pass for Navi River Journey, just because I think the lines have gone down looking at the wait times on the My Disney Experience for that ride. So I don't think you're going to be facing those big queues like you did sort of when it first opened. And it's a lovely ride, it's beautiful, but it's not something we want to carry on doing loads and loads and loads. So like if it's a really short wait time when we go, then we'll jump on there. If it's a bit of a longer line, then we may just not go on it for this trip. For the other rides in Animal Kingdom, amazingly, obviously some of those rides that were previously tier 1 are now tier 2, which is awesome. If you like Expedition Everest, or you like the safari, or even Kali River Rapids, on a hot day, Kali River Rapids, the line goes a little bit crazy. And we've waited up to sort of an hour before without a fast pass to get on there. So maybe maybe rides that you want a fast pass. We've got fast passes for those for our next trip. Again, people ask about Rivers of Light, just like Fantasmic. Obviously, if you're holding that fast pass for Rivers of Light, you are not going to get more than your 3 fast passes for that day. We tend to get one. For this trip, we haven't got one, and we're just going to see what it's like in standby. Again, if you get there early enough, there's always going to be seats. I can't see them turning your way unless, you know, parks at capacity. So yeah, we're not going to use one for it, but they do dining packages for Rivers of Light if you want to do that, or if you want to use a fast pass. It just depends what you're using your other fast passes for as well.
And it's worth noting that actually and on lots of days there are 2 showings of Rivers of Light, whereas with the other evening shows at the different parks there is only one. So you've got I think that helps with the crowds and helps with the lines for Rivers of Light, that they actually show it twice per night on the days that I've seen. So I'm not sure if it's the same every day, whether they just do one some days, 2 other days, but I think that really does help with the crowd. So you shouldn't need one, but it's completely up to you, but we haven't this time. It's worth bearing in mind that people don't manage to get those Flight of Passage fast passes, so they will rush to Pandora at rope drop. So you might want to think about a different plan. Now, we went in April and we had managed to get fast passes for both of the Pandora rides. So on our first morning when we went to Animal Kingdom, we did go for rope drop. Everyone was shooting left to go to Pandora to try and get into that line who haven't managed to get their fast passes for Flight of Passage, and we went right instead and we walked straight onto Expedition Everest. We could see people going back round and riding it 2, 3, 4 times in one go because the line was so short. So if you're thinking, well, I don't need to rush straight there, but I am going to do rope drop, you might want to head right instead and head up to Expedition Everest, and then you get to ride it and practically walk straight on it. We also, once we had been on Expedition Everest, went over to Safari as well. So we managed to do Safari with quite a short line because everyone was in Pandora. So think about, if you don't need to go and rush at rope drop to one of those popular areas, think about what else you could be doing, because you could be walking straight onto other rides that later on in the day you're going to have to wait for, or you might need a fast pass. The next one we're going to talk about is Epcot. Epcot have got a tier system. Tier 1 is going to be Frozen Ever After, Test Track, Soaring and Illuminations.
Also character meet and greet, so the character spot for Mickey, Goofy and Minnie.
Yeah. So what I would say the best rides in Epcot are all in tier 1. So you're gonna have to have a think about how we're gonna to do this with the fast passes. We have managed to get fast passes for Frozen Ever After. We've also got them for Soaring, but I don't think we've booked this time for Test Track. We're just going to do rope drop and go head straight there, although sometimes it can be hit and miss because sometimes it has a later start time with that ride. It depends on if it's been raining or if it's not quite ready to open, but that's what we're going to try anyway, because it's just so hard. Those 3 rides are fantastic. They are 3 rides that are going to have long lines, in the standby. So yeah, so it's really, this one's a difficult one. We really love all three of those rides and we want to ride all three, but we can't get fast passes for all of them. So we are going to have to go at rope drop and see if we can get on them as well. Also, we're planning on using the extra magic hours to kind of try and get on them as well to see if the lines are a little bit shorter. So that's kind of our plan for the tier 1 rides. We get asked whether you need a fast pass for illuminations. Now, we have fast pass once for illuminations and it was a really good viewing area, but you can see really, really well all the way around the lake. I wouldn't say that you particularly need a fast pass for that. Our new plan really is just to kind of get an ice cream and go and kind of chill out where we want to actually watch it, and you know, eat your snack and kind of just wait. You don't have to wait for a really, really long time. There's so much space.
They have announcements going on pretty much the entire evening where they'll just basically say you can view illuminations all the way around the World Showcase, and it really is a good view no matter where you stand. So yeah, again, if you don't want to save that third fast pass for right at the end just before parks closing, then just don't use it for illuminations and watch it from somewhere else.
I would definitely say that Frozen, Ever After, Test Track and Soarin' are what you really do need to be using your tier 1 fast passes for. Now, tier 2 fast passes, obviously there's not tons of attractions that you can fast pass at Epcot, but if you want to go on Spaceship Earth, now I know it's closing for refurb quite soon, but if you are going when it's still open, the line for that can get quite big, so that might be worth a tier 2 fast pass for. Also, we really enjoy Turtle Talk with Crush, which the line can really go up and down, a bit like with Mickey. I've seen the lines really, really short, and then I've seen the lines like kind of long as well. So we're going to use one of our fast passes for that as well.
Yeah. So when we are making our spreadsheet and we are putting on all our fast passes, our dining reservations, park hours, and how long we're going to spend at each park for sort of like the morning maybe for the first park and then an evening in a different park. And we also add on there sort of what we're planning on doing around that time as well. Obviously we don't sort of schedule every single minute, so we're going to go on this ride, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, because it's a holiday at the end of the day, and a lot of the enjoyment for us is just walking around in the sunshine and enjoying it and just relaxing and taking it all in. So we don't schedule it sort of minute by minute by any means. But what we do is we do try and keep it to sort of maybe a specific area of a park, or do specific things for that day, just so that we're not rushing around all over the park trying to fit as much in as we can. Because at the end of the day, you've got, you know, maybe a week, 2 weeks to do all the things you want to do. So if you plan it properly, you really don't need to be doing that, and your legs will thank you for it. If you are trying to go on Flight of Passage and then you're rushing over to try and get on Expedition Everest, and then you're back over seeing the Lion King show, you are going to be worn out. You are going to walk a long way. So we try and restrict ourselves to a specific area. We don't try and sort of like zigzag all over the park, because it just doesn't make any sense. So we might do, for example, in Animal Kingdom, we might do sort of like take Africa and do sort of like everything in the Africa area, or, you know, things like that. Try and sort of like just do one area at a time rather than sort of like hop from one area to another area. Also, what we try and do is we try and theme what we're going to be doing. So if we're not going to stick to a specific area, for example, we might decide to do all the Toy Story stuff. So which means obviously we're going to go to Toy Story Land, we're going to do the Toy Story meet and greets, things like that. We've done it before where we've done all the Star Wars stuff. So we might go to Hollywood Studios and we might watch the Star Wars show, the Star Wars fireworks, we might do Star Wars meet and greets, see Jedi training, even as far as we might go to Battle Express and get those Darth Vader waffles.
Yeah.
And we try, and if we're going to do something like that, we try and tie it in with our clothing as well. So that's one thing that people might think we're a little bit crazy for, but we do decide what we're going to wear each day. The last thing I want to do is sort of like, when I'm packing, is just throw everything in the case and then get there and be sort of like wasting time in the mornings trying to plan what we're going to wear for the next day. It's just easier for us to make sure that we're not overpacking, we're taking enough clothes, but also so we decide in advance so we don't have to do it when we get there as well. So that is something that does go on the spreadsheet, as crazy as we are. But we do try and tie in our clothing with specific things. So for example, if we're going to do all the Star Wars attractions, we might wear Star Wars t-shirts. And it really does increase your interactions with the meet and greet characters if you are wearing something relating to their character or their movie as well. So for example, if you know you're going to be meeting Mickey and Minnie, you know, they love it if you wear something sort of like Mickey and Minnie related, and it is something that sort of like they pick up on. And the other characters as well, so we've had some great interactions and some playing around with the characters just because of what we've clothes we've had on, basically. So especially if you've gone to all that trouble in the first place to go and do your Disney shopping and making sure you've got plenty of Disney clothing to wear when you get there, if you wear the right thing on the right day, we found it does add that little bit of extra special enjoyment as well.
Yeah. Well, I hope you really enjoyed this video and it's been useful and hopefully informed your planning as well. Leave a comment below if you feel like we've missed something, or maybe that you've got some top tips that we haven't thought about yet. Yeah, just comment and talk to us about it. We love to hear from you guys, and we love to hear how other people do Disney, because there's no set way of doing it. Planning is really important. We do feel that it is important to make sure that you get the most out of it, but it doesn't have to be stressful, and you don't have to feel tied down when you get there. But if you don't plan, you really will waste a lot of time and you will miss out on things. So I think it's worth a little bit of planning first, and then when you can get there, everything can run smoothly, hopefully, and you can get to see as much as you can, get to enjoy it the best that you can. So I definitely worth it. But let us know your thoughts. Are you a planner? Are you a winger? I don't know. Yeah, tell us about it. I'd like to take this opportunity as well just to thank everybody who's subscribed to our channel and watched our other videos. It really means a lot to us. We love to talk Disney, and we love to connect with you guys who love it as much as we do. So thank you so much for you subscribed. If you're new to our channel, hopefully you'll subscribe and give it a big thumbs up and watch our other videos too. And yeah, keep in touch with us and let us know what you've got going on.
Yeah, so we're also on Instagram and Facebook. So if you've not followed us on those two yet, we'd love for you to come and join us over on our other social media channels, just because we might put some extra stuff on, especially when we're there in December. We are definitely going to be sort of hitting that Instagram hard. So we'd love you guys to sort of follow what we're doing sort of on a day-by-day basis, really. So yeah, I've really enjoyed, we've already made some amazing friends just through setting up our Instagram account, and there's so many amazing sort of YouTubers out there that we wouldn't have found without those other social media sources. So please do find us on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to this video, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.
Have a magical day.